You know, if there's one thing that we can boast about as a community, it's our ability to count to five. Medium, light, 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 medium. We can do it better than any gaming community out there because we all do it every single day, every single fight. But it's not always best to count to five. Sometimes it's better to count to four. And I'm going to show you 7 different situations why you'd want to only count to 4 and not 5. The first example I want to show is called anti-baiting. It's basically the opposite of baiting out a special, where normally when you want the opponent to throw a special, you kind of drop your guard, make it look like they're going to connect with their special attack if they throw it. With this, you do not want to drop your guard. So I'm up against this Havoc here to show as an example. And up against Havoc, ideally you want him to throw his special too. Especially this being variant 6, meaning I need to use villain champions, which means I can't use my Havoc counter in Warlock. I need to use someone else. So let's go ahead and throw Omega Red into the mix. And I'm going to count out 4 hits, and then I'm just going to block instead of doing the 5th hit. So let's count it out together here, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, block. Immediate block. Right into the block. 1, 2, 3, 4, immediate block. And again, they're less likely to throw that special. He's hitting into my block a lot, but there we go. So now he's out of special 2. And let's go ahead, buddy. Throw that special 2. Now we can, drop guard and bait a special like normal. 2, 3, 4, block. So we're going to do this again. And it's not something where you're constantly doing 4-hit combos. If you're seeing that a 5th hit is going to push the opponent to a special 2, if that's your goal, well then do the 5 hits. So like right here, I'm doing 5 hits, and now he's at a special 2. Now I'm not running the Suicide Masteries, which means Omega Red, still not an ideal counter to this fight. It's just for example's sake. But, and again, like when baiting out specials, it's not a guarantee to work. Sometimes you're trying to bait out a special from the opponent for like minutes at a time before they want to throw it. It's the same thing when doing the anti-bait methods. Sometimes they're going to throw the special anyway. But this will give you a little bit more control over the fight by doing a 4-hit into block animation so that they don't think they can hit you with the special. The second example has to do with champions having auto-evade. And that goes for champions with evasion in their kit, like the Spider-Verse champs, or whether it's coming from a node or a place like Labyrinth of Legends or the Abyss, where all champions have a small chance to evade. What happens is after we do 5 hits in our combo, there's a little bit of a delay before we can react again. Right? Otherwise, we'd be able to just combo infinitely. We would just never stop spamming the right side of our screen, and the opponent, they wouldn't be able to do anything. So there's that little bit of a delay after our 5th hit to give our opponents a chance to actually fight back. And what happens is if the opponent evades on that 5th hit, no matter how fast your reactions are, you cannot get out of the way of the opponent slamming you in the face. Sometimes the opponent doesn't always take advantage of that opportunity. But the point is, if the opponent wants to, if they're aggressive, if they want to hit you after they evade your 5th hit in your combo, it's free. It's open for them. But if they evade on an earlier attack, like say your 4th hit, well, then you're good to go. As long as your reactions are fast enough, you can get out of the way. And something that's especially good with dueling or fighting a Spider-Verse champ, I'm going to duel one right now, is normally you can get in 3 hits while the opponent is stunned. Now, if there's limber, then you can't always get the 3rd hit in, but while they're stunned, the hits are safe. So what I recommend doing is do the 3 hits while you can, and then do a 4th hit, 1 hit after the stun wears off, and then immediately swipe left. That way, if they do evade that 4th hit, you have all the time in the world to get away from it. Now, I'm going to try to do 5 hits here, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get punished for it. Maybe I won't. Like I said, the opponent, they don't always take advantage when they evade. Sometimes they're a little bit more passive. Thank you, auto block. We'll see what happens here. Okay. Well, see, he didn't even evade my 5th hit. He evaded an earlier hit, but because I kept going in my combo, my attack whiffed anyway, and he was actually able to hit me there. So 4 hits against champions that evade. can be really useful if you don't already have some other way to counter the evade. We need to go to Act 5 for the third example, and this all has to do with evading certain specials. This is Act 5, Chapter 4, Quest number 6. And funny thing about this quest is even though we can't see the first opponents in here, no matter which way you go, whether it is to the right or up, it's going to be a champion that you want to do 4 hits against. So I know one of these is Yellow Jacket, and I know the other is Electro. Let's just see which is which. We'll go this bottom fight first, and I'm just gonna, I'll just throw Omega Red in here. I don't even care about beating them. This is just for example's sake. And oh, it looks like we have Yellow Jacket. Oh, this is the newly buffed Yellow Jacket, actually. So if you do a 5-hit combo, let's do that. I'm gonna do a 5-hit combo. And let's see if he wants to throw his special. That's the whole reason here. Oh, yep, see, there we go. I was too close to him, and I could not fully evade his special one there. All right, so let's wait for this Power Sting to wear off. Actually, I'll just use a special. I don't care about taking damage here. But the idea is to give yourself enough room by doing a 4-hit combo. So, and if you do a 4-hit combo and then dash back, then you have basically 2 dashes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, dash back. He didn't throw the special right away, but if he does throw it, I would have plenty of time, plenty of distance to get away from that special. Let's try this again. Let's see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, dash back. Again, he didn't throw it right away. Let's try one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, dash back. He's not throwing it right away, of course. But the whole idea is just to give yourself that extra space. It has less to do with the number of hits you're doing and everything to do with the space that you can get. But if you do a 5-hit combo, let's try a 5-hit combo here, and then dash back. While I'm dashing back out of the 5-hit combo, he has that ability to throw the special just that much faster, and I wouldn't be able to get out of the way. Let's try this again with the other opponent. Okay, so this time this should be Electro, and once again, the best thing to do here is when the opponent has that special to do 4 hits. Now again, it's only when you want to bait out the special, so we can start out doing 5-hit combos against this guy, no problem. But now 1, 2, 3, 4, dash back, and that gives me plenty of time to get out of the way. So let's see if he'll cooperate, and I'm going to intentionally do a 5-hit combo into his special here, and I'll try to evade. He didn't want to throw it. But if he did want to throw it, I might not have been able to get out of the way in time. So the 5 hits. Yep, see, there we go. I could not get out of the way fast enough, and I'm down. So again, baiting out certain specials, the specials that you need that little bit of extra spacing on, or just need a little bit of extra prep time to evade a projectile or something like that. 4-hit combos, depending on who you're fighting, can save you. The next example I want to show is the buffet node, and how you can use this to your advantage to avoid triggering nodes like buffet. So buffet says the next time you gain a buff, it's going to automatically be consumed, and the opponent's going to heal up a bit. So, you know, if you're using a champion that doesn't naturally gain buffs, the only thing you have to worry about is dexterity. And if you do a 5-hit combo, what can happen is, after your 5th hit in your combo here, if you dash back, if the opponent lunges at you, you are going to get a dexterity buff, and the opponent's going to heal up. It's not going to be a good time. Getting punched in the face is never a good time like that, though. So what I'm going to show here is to do 4 hits and then line up your next parry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, dash back. And then you can kind of line up the next parry, assuming they don't have any power. So 4 hits, dash back, line up the next parry. 2, 3, 4 hits, dash back, line up the next parry. 4, dash back, line up the next parry. But let's do 5 hits now. So this is the 5th hit, dash back. Oh, I would have gained dexterity there if he didn't eat it with buffet. So yeah, that can happen. Let's bait this special one time here. I'm going to intentionally dex, but just to show it again, 1, 2, 3, 4, dash back, line up the next parry. 1, 2, 3, 4, dash back, line up the next parry. Now, you could also do heavy attacks to get around this as well. The whole idea here is just giving yourself that spacing, and heavy attacks will do that as well, since that'll send them flying across the screen. But 4-hit combos can also be really helpful in situations like this. We can use that same strategy of doing 4-hit combos to also line up parries for champions that otherwise can be really annoying to parry. So Yondu here, for example, let's go ahead and fight him with Magneto. And I'm going to do a 5-hit combo into Yondu. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I'm going to try to parry the next hit. And you saw the parry text pop up, but I couldn't parry him. That's because you can't parry projectiles with normal champions. But we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, dash back, line up the next parry. Because Yondu's medium attack is an actual melee attack. It's not projectile based. So giving us that distance on the opponent will force him into using a medium attack, and then we can actually parry. Yondu isn't the only champion like this, by the way. He's the only one that I'm going to show in this video, but there are a few other champions that you kind of want to force them throwing medium attacks into you for one reason or another, and lining up parries is the most basic example of that. How is this for a throwback fight? This is the Iron Patriot inside of Road to the Labyrinth that has Spite and All or Nothing. And I'm going to use the same champion to get through this Iron Patriot that I did a few years ago when this content first came out. So I'm going to be using Vision, who of course has power control, but things can still get out of hand very quickly due to Spite. And this was very problematic for players at the time, and still can be. So I'm going to be using the same method to not put a buff on myself. I do not want to have the dexterity buff, so we're going to do 4-hit combos once again. 4-hit combo, line up that parry, and do not give this guy any reason to gain power through Spite. And once you do this enough, we'll have to rely on a little bit of a reparry there to save us. But there we go. Now we've drained his power. The fight is in much better shape due to not allowing him to get any kind of power through Spite. So once again, 4 hits, line up the parry. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, line up that parry. And the last example that I want to talk about today is Dormammu. Now, assume that this is Alliance War. It's not, but let's just say, for example's sake, this is Alliance War, and the opponent has 5 out of 5 Mystic Dispersion, because of course they do. Well, on top of all the degen damage that you could take from fighting Dormammu and having your buffs expire, you could also just be feeding the opponent more and more power, and yeah, the situation can very quickly spiral out of control. So we really don't want to give Dormammu any buffs to work with, to apply the degen, to gain extra power through Mystic Dispersion. So I'm going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4-hit combos, dash him back. And of course, once I get to my special 2 here, good old Vision Age of Ultron, one of the OGs. Oh, see, there we go. I gained a buff there. It's never going to be perfect. But 1, 2, 3, 4, dash back. Ooh, he didn't dash into me, but 1, 2, 3, 4, dash back. Line up that parry. 1, 2, 3, 4, dash back. Line up that parry. And that's what it's all about. So hopefully you guys can find other situations where 4-hit combos make sense. This is definitely not an exhaustive list. There are other situations where you would only want to use 4-hit combos for one reason or another, but hopefully this is enough to get you thinking that it's not always best to go to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, dash back, line up that parry. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.